Good morning, everyone. It's bright and early today in the mountains, and the sun's out. So I am hurrying to make this video for you all because apparently we are going to be hit by a storm this week, which is going to last all week. I think it's called Storm Eva. So I thought, okay, there's sunlight. I know it's really early, but I'll just get to it and do what I had planned for this week's video, which is swatching these Kuretake paints. Now, I bought these paints a few years ago and they've been sitting on my bookshelf unused. Full disclaimer, I bought them. I used them a little bit, but they weren't right for that period of my life. I wasn't really taken by them at that time. But I wanted to give them another try. I also mainly work on hot press paper, and I wanted to give them a try on cold press paper. So I've got my Bockingford pad here, and I'm just going to unveil these. Here they are. You can see they've been very lightly used. I'm going to take this off if I can. There we go. There's been some cracking, but that isn't anything that will affect the paint or anything, so no worries there. So I'm going to try them on here. I'm going to try them on the Bockingford paper. I did a little grid here to help me out while I swatch. I'm going to do like one part in mass tone and one part with added water. I have 2 pots of water next to me because I want to wash the brush before I get water for the next colour, because there's so many paints. So to avoid cross-contamination, that's a mouthful, I've got 2 pots of water with me, and I will be using this Da Vinci Maestro brush, which, as you've seen, there's quite a pattern because I use these a lot in my videos. It's a number 4. So let's get started. I've got my little porcelain plate here, which I will rotate, and some paper, and a darker pencil this time, not so light. Okay. Now, before I start, I wanted to say that what I remember of these, they were highly pigmented, but they felt a little chalky to me at the time. And I was very much into transparent paint, but now I would love to try gouache, and these colours I would say are like an in-between gouache and watercolour. So I thought it's a good place to start. So here goes. We're going to start with this red up top, if you can see. Now, Baloo is not in the studio today. He's outside, probably chasing poor lizards, because we've got quite a few lizards in our garden. Okay, I'm going to try and lift more pigment. I'm going to do like a block here, colour. This looks like a dark red, dark middle red, and dilute it a little bit. Try to dilute it as much as possible and do my little oval shape over here. I have to say I am quite taken with the Bockingford paper. seem to remember I stopped using it back in the day because it wasn't particularly good for layering, but it couldn't handle the many layers that I was doing at the time. Okay, so next up I'm going to use this, which is looking like a magenta-y red. I should be using that to add water. Must condition myself. I've done it again. Must condition myself to do that. Okay. Wash that, dip in there. Okay. Like a toddler. Yeah, it's a deep, cooler red. I'm not going to comment on any of them until they have dried. So wash in there and then dip in there for some clean water. I don't usually use 2 pots of water, as you may have noticed, because I'm not used to dipping them in. Okay, I was meaning to add some water into this first and dilute it, but I got a little bit too excited. That's like a very cool pink. Right, next is this, which looks very pink. I know it's been a very long time since I've tried these, but they do feel less chalky on this paper. Maybe they weren't suited for hot pressed so much. And just okay, not too different, a bit lighter. Now, also, I saw these on Jackson's was yesterday, again with my wonky ovals. I saw these on Jackson's yesterday, I think, and they were on offer. They were somewhere from £50 to 30 something pounds, if that helps at all. Now, just rotate a little bit. I have this dark red. I don't remember these colours at all. Almost like using, very new colours. It's a very deep pink colour. It's almost like a cool carmine. Maybe. I want to talk too soon. And wash. And add some water. See, these diluted aren't very dissimilar to each other. So they're still wet. I said I wouldn't comment. Patience. There we go. Now, we're going to going to just lift some of that. That is much orangey red. Something about all the colours being in a palette presented like this that it's very inspiring, and yet I haven't used them. I kind of stuck to my my usual suspects, and I want to change that a little bit. I want to be a bit more adventurous. Okay, add a bit more water. That's very soft, warm pink. I'm a fan of warm pinks. It's a little dull, teeny bit dull. Next, I have this colour. Underneath, the names are in Japanese, and unfortunately, as much as I would love to be able to read Japanese, I cannot. So I'm just going to put the numbers underneath. That's more orangey red, more orange than red. Wash and add some water. No, not a pink as such. What would you call that colour? I mean, orange again, I guess. Now, going towards a lighter orange colour. You almost want to eat this. Has that colour of, it's like an edible colour. There are some colours that are so edible that I do not eat watercolours, but I'm going, yum, that looks really delicious. Now, that's darker than well, not darker, duller than I thought it would be. It would be brighter. I diluted this enough. Looks more like a... The light's hitting and I can't really see, and I've got my cup of tea here also, which is blocking the light, the true light. It looks raw sienna-y, ochre raw sienna-y. More water. It's nice. It's more like a muted yellow. Should I put the numbers now or should I wait? I think I'll wait until the end. So I just can continue here because I've got lots of colours to go through. Now, next is this warm yellow. My cup is, I have a big cup of tea here and it's blocking the light wherever I put it. This is very saturated. It's a pretty warm yellow though. Yeah, that is prettier when it's diluted. Much prettier. And now this is this dull yellow. Got a tiny brush here and there, but I'm not going to attempt to lift it right now. I'm going to wait for it to dry and do it. Yeah, it's a duller yellow. I wonder what that's called. I'm doing this cross dipping my brush into different vessels thing really wrong, but I'll have to get used to it if I don't want to cross contaminate. Yeah, oh, it's very light. Now this looks like a lemon yellow. When I say lemon yellow, I always think of limoncello. There we go. It's a yellow leaning towards green. Mix some very vibrant greens. Talk about mixing. I haven't considered doing a video of mixing them because I don't think I'll get time today because there's so many colours. Yeah, but this was it. Maybe I'll lift a bit more because it's not really coming through. I must say they do look pretty on there all together. And I think before I start with the greens, I'll just go and wash my palette so there's room, because I've kind of taken up almost the whole plate here. Be right back in just a minute. And I'm back with a nice clean palette and some fresh water in my pots. So moving on to the green. This looks like an olivey green. Yeah. See. It's almost more textured than the others. It's a helicopter outside. I don't know if you can hear it. I wonder why there's a helicopter. We have loads of helicopters here in the summer because of forest fires, unfortunately, and they're all always hovering overhead. Maybe I need a little bit more. But this time of year there shouldn't be forest fires, I hope. So I'm not quite sure what a helicopter is doing up here. I like this in mass tone. I'm not sure in it's diluted though. This looks like it's going to be a vivid apple green. Rotate. Yeah. That is vibrant. And the construction work is begun again outside. So apologies. That is a very vibrant green. Wonder how it will dry though. Maybe it'll go down a little bit, desaturate a little bit while it's drying. When it's dry. Actually, I'm quite liking that yellow now. It's dried. It's a funny thing. When you see something after it's dried, you might love it or hate it more. I mean, hate is a very harsh word, maybe dislike. I don't think I hate any colour. This looks like a olivey green again. No, it's different. It's a yellowy version, I would say. Yeah. And again, it feels more textured than the others. I like that. That is a tad too vibrant for me, I think. Would have to mix it. Don't get me wrong, I love all greens and I love vibrant greens. I just, when I'm painting, and I usually paint inspired by nature, I like vibrant greens that also look natural. And that looks a teeny bit artificial. Now, darker, bluer green. Okay, I've done it again. Right. Okay, let's diluting this. That is definitely bluer. Yes, it's blue, blue-green. Oh, my box is getting, whatever I'm calling rectangles, getting a bit bigger as they go down. It's gravity. It's expanding. Could be just foreshortening because those are far further away, but the ones on top. I'll wait and see how that dries before I comment, because I love that. I'm liking that. I do love blue greens, but again, I prefer them not to be too artificial. Any colour can be corrected in that regard by mixing, just adding something that will just shift it towards the right direction. Next is this colour. It's amazing that these look so similar when they're on the palette, yet when they're on the paper they're so different. It's darker blue-green. The darker the better, for me. Maybe I haven't diluted that as much as I should. Hey ho. And now this, which is a teal colour. We love our teals. Why am I using the royal we all of a sudden? I love my teals. Oh, that's pretty. I can't contain myself when I see a teal. Teals just make everything better. I don't know, I'm really attached to teals. I don't know if it's because it reminds me of the sea, and my grandfather was a fisherman, and I grew up by the sea. Well, I grew up by the sea might be a bit of an exaggeration, but I used to go to the sea a lot. My grandfather used to fish, and sit and see, watch him. Not sit on the sea, sit on the on the shore, obviously. I get so tongue-tied when I'm doing videos. I say silly things. My apologies. I'm hoping to get better at it as time goes by. Oh dear, we didn't want that to happen. Tissue to the rescue. Let's try that. Right, next up, that looks like a darker turquoisey. I was going to say it's a darker tongue-tied again. Turquoise. Turquoise? I'm just making new words up. No, it's... Okay, it has turquoise in it, but it's quite foresty, dark, greeny-ish. Doesn't look very dissimilar to that. Oh no, it's bluer, but you can see what I mean. And that doesn't have the texture that these two had. These two are almost granulating. I think I did my over a little bit wonky again. Then this, which is I am not going to comment on this until it's on the paper. Yeah, that's a turquoise. Well, a dark turquoise. Very pretty. I love that colour. Teal again, tealish. Another wonky oval. That looks like a cobalt teal light to me. I think the sizing of the paper is a little bit off here, so I can see that there's areas where the paint isn't sticking to. Oh, more water, quickly. That's nice. I love that. Absolutely adore that. It's strange how you might have all these colours in front of you, and the ones that, for want of a better word, they click with you. They reach in and inspire you immediately, just jump off the page. And I think teals do that for me, and greens, but especially teals. Not so much yellows or pinks, unfortunately. Right, I need to go and wash my palette again. Maybe I need to invest in a bigger palette so I don't have to do this every time, especially when I've got these many colours. I'm going to move that. Just move that up so you can see what I'm doing. I'll just go now and wash my palette and change my water again, and I'll be back in a jiffy. Okay, be right back. I am back. I took a little longer than I expected because I wanted to check on Baloo as well. He's fine. He's playing in the garden as expected, chasing lizards all over the place. Thankfully, never catching them. Okay, so where were we? We were at the blues. Oh, that looks like a lavender blue. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, that's pretty. That is a very pretty colour. It's more purpley than I would have thought from working on there. Let's dilute it a little bit. That's a very pretty colour. You know, the village I live next to has a colour of its own. It's called Lulagi, and I'll explain what I mean by it has a colour of its own. It is known for a colour that they used to paint all the houses, the walls and the doors with, and it was made only here on the island. And you can still see on buildings and old buildings that haven't been renovated, like flakes of it on the walls, and that reminds me of it. It's called Leggy. That is a warm blue, ultramarine blue, I'd say. Interesting, because it almost has the texture of ultramarine. Yeah, my rectangles are getting bigger as they migrate towards me. Let's just add more colour, more water rather. Yeah, I'd say ultramarine. Next, cobalt, possibly. Oh, maybe cerulean. It's a green or blue. Oh dear, I'm going in the wrong place here. Am I going in the wrong place? No, I'm okay. I'm just looking at my grid and going, I'm not following this grid very well. Again, I'll have to wait and see how that dries. Add a bit more water. See, I can see the granulation in there that you would expect from a ultramarine blue. And this looks like a Prussian blue. Yep, Prussian Antwerp. It's PB27. Need to refresh my memory, my pigment numbers. When I started out, I was memorizing everything because I was so fascinated. But slowly through the years, I have forgotten them. Oh, kind of forgotten them. I remember some. Next, now that is too dark to judge, and as I have said, I haven't swatched this in so long. So, yeah. Oh, okay. I expected it to be a different, not blue. Now that I've wetted it, obviously I can see it's a blue, but it's a very dark green blue, dark green, I say, greenish blue, middle. See how it dries. Gosh, this is going to be such a long video. I'll try and cut it down a bit in the editing, but I don't know how much I'll be able to cut. Do you mind longer videos? Do you enjoy them, or do you prefer shorter videos? That would be a lovely question. If you could just answer me in the comments, what do you prefer? Now, that is an indothrone. Some spell it throne and some spell it throne. I'm never sure how to pronounce that. Dark, dullish blue, which I love so much. I am a fan of desaturated colours with, I mean, some bright colours and vivid colours are nice, but desaturated ones are my preference. That's pretty. That leans towards grey as well. It's a greyish blue. Oh, this is a purple. Oh, that looks very rich. Very rich purple. Wow. Vibrant purple. I might need to try mixing that with a pinky red. See if I can get that aubergine colour I'm always after. Next is this. The surface looks like it's cracked glass. That's different kind of purple. Let's say a reddish purple. As the colours are getting closer to me, it's becoming a little bit more awkward to swatch them. And yeah, going a little bit wonky. Oh, I believe we have moved away from the purples. Possibly? No. This is a even reddier, more reddish purple. Purple, magenta. Yeah, more of a magenta. Not much mass tone there, maybe I'll just add a bit more. Ooh, awkward. Just I'm trying to paint at this angle really close to me, it's getting a little bit weird. Now a brown, our first brown. That's a strange brown. It's almost burnt sienna-y, kinda. Ish. But not quite. Darker brown. Van Dyke maybe, or is it a burnt umber? Possibly. I'm like, guess the colour here. That also has granulation. I can see it just sinking into the little holes in the paper. Little bumps. And this one is that black? Can't really see. I think it is. Oops, sorry. Moved the camera there. I think this is black. Whoa, that is black. Black as night. Looks like a warm black as well. Reminds me of that Indian ink black from my Inktense swatch. I have a confession to make. I don't really use black in my work. Oh. Hardly any black. But if I am going to use black, I mix my blacks. I don't use ready-made blacks. And I usually mix them using colours that I've already used. So if I've used a red, for instance, in my illustration, I'll mix a black using that red. Or if I want, this is going to sound strange, but if I want a bit more contrast, I'll mix a black from the opposite colour on the colour spectrum to the colour that I'm using. Yeah, I overthink things quite a lot. This looks like a pearlescent white. Or is it a Chinese white? Let's see. Yeah, it's a Chinese white. That looks like pearlescent white. I'm sure, almost sure that you can't see that. So Do I even dilute it? Okay, why not? Just do a quick ovalish shape here. And now to the metallic colours. Which, oh, it's very hard to lift. I do not use any metallic colours in my work, so I have no idea how to use these. Sorry. And I've got a little brush here on there again. But I will swatch them out. Oh, that's nice actually. It's a very delicate silvery colour. Pearlescent whitey silvery colour. Wonder how it looks when you lay it over other colours. I know loads of people love metallic watercolours, but they don't inspire me. Sorry. There's just something missing. Okay, perhaps it's because they just seem too artificial for me. There's like some mineral colours that have sparkle in them, and I don't mind those. But when they're just like artificially sparkly, I just can't get on with them. That is probably a very unpopular opinion. My apologies. But I will swatch them nonetheless. That is almost like a cool gold, which is nice because some golds are really yellowy and very, wow, okay. That has a lot of colour power. It's almost like a dull gold or bronze. The alignment on here is hideous. My apologies. I'm going all over the place. I'm getting so distracted by the colours, I'm forgetting to look at the grid. And this is a copper-ish, rose goldy-ish, no, copper-ish, I'd say. And that's the final colour. All done. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let these bottom ones dry. I am going to write the numbers, but off camera, because otherwise it's going to be an even lengthier video. And I'll come back and I'll let you know my thoughts if I've changed my mind about these, and if I think I'll be using them in the future. Okay, see you in a little bit. So I have, oh, let me sit first. Bit too eager. So I've written the numbers. Apologies again because my writing is very small. I am training myself to write bigger because I keep getting comments in my friends saying we can't read your writing. So I'm trying to write larger, but I'm not very successful. Okay, so I said that I would tell you what I think, my final thoughts on these now that I've seen them again. I adore all the colours together like this. I mean, I love looking at colour palettes and, you know, the same colours in different hues next to each other. It's just such a pleasing experience. But I can see why I chose not to paint with these back then. Also because I'm much more used to natural looking pigments, and these do look a teensy bit artificial, and they also have a kind of chalkiness to them. Saying that, I am going to give them a go again. I would prefer them to be more muted and less saturated for my liking, but I think I didn't give them a chance back then. I didn't really try mixing them and you know, just adding hints of vibrant colours here and there. Also, I like how they are so opaque in mass tone, which means I can use them more like gouache. And as I said in the beginning, I do want to try out gouache again. I used to paint in gouache quite a bit at the beginning, and then I fell in love with ink work, like pen work and watercolor a few years back, and I've stuck to that. But I'm open to trying gouache again on bigger pieces because I do work really small. So I'm going to give them a go again. If I do find Kuretake paints that are less saturated, I will definitely try them if they're not too expensive, because I know that in Europe they're quite expensive to buy. But as I said in the beginning, they are on offer on Jackson's at the moment. There are some colours that I love, but I'm biased towards teal, so yeah. And that colour's very, very pretty. I love that as well. That, I mean, see, these colours are more my kind of thing. That colour, that, but diluted. It's a personal preference. I know people love vibrant colours. I like vibrant colours in other people's work, but on my work, they just don't feel right. If that makes any sense. But I will try them again. Absolutely, I will try illustrating with them again, but this time I'll try them as I would use gouache, not as I would use watercolor. I hope that made sense in any way, and because that was a little bit of a jumble of words there. And I really, really hope that you enjoyed watching me swatch these. It's probably a very lengthy video, lots of editing to be done. If you did enjoy this video and would like to see more videos by me, please subscribe and hit the notification button so that you know when I upload a video again. If you liked this video, you can always just hit the like button, and always, I love reading your comments. I always check for comments. I know I haven't had many yet, but I'm hopeful that with more videos there'll be more comments, because I love reading your thoughts. Thank you again for being here with me. It's kind of getting a little bit darker outside. The clouds are moving in, so Eva might be getting closer to us. I better go shut the windows and bring Baloo inside. Thank you again for being here, and I hope to see you all soon. Much love to you all. Be well. Bye bye. Bye.